Why, hello, Foundlings, and thank you for joining us as Missing Role Player Found presents a brief spin-off series, A Tale of Remembrance. I am Quentin, your GM here, and I am joined by none other than...
Hello, Foundlings. It is I, Emily, also known as Snow, who played Snow. Plays Snow? Question mark? We'll have to find out what's going on.
Indeed we will, but for now it seems as if everything starts with a voice. You begin to hear a soft, gentle, familiar voice almost whispering in your ears. Aurora, Aurora, it's time to wake up, my dear. And with that, you begin to stir, but you do not see anyone around you. Instead, you find yourself at the edge of a small clearing on the outskirts of a woods. You feel a soft silk and satin linen resting atop your skin as grass tickles your toes and fingertips. All around you can hear the chittering of birds and off in the distance the babbling of a brook. But significantly closer there seems to be the panting of an animal. And you are awakened.
Aurora, as this name is now entered into her mind, sits up from where she is currently on the ground. I'm assuming that she was laying down.
Yeah, that's where you found yourself.
Yes, so Aurora sits up and she looks around. May I make a perception check?
Absolutely. Be my guest.
23 on my perception.
Taking in your surroundings, you can see, as I described, that you are at the edge of a small wood at a clearing, kind of at the threshold of where the forest almost ends. It continues on a little further in. But all around you, you hear the chittering of birds. You can vaguely see the outline of a structure, potentially a city, but it's very small. It's far off into the distance. But more noticeably and loudly, there's the panting of an animal, and not just any animal, but a very large wolf.
Do I sense danger from the wolf?
Roll a sense motive.
25.
No, in fact, you don't sense any danger. In fact, he seems almost to be protecting you, watching over you. He seems to have a very kind and caring demeanor about him. He looks at you with gentle puppy dog eyes.
All right. I attempt to stand up. Do I have any difficulty doing so?
Not particularly. You feel a little uneasy, not so physically, but more mentally, as all you are really able to recall is your current surroundings and the voice, which you heard upon waking.
Okay. So as she stands up, she sort of stumbles and braces herself on this wolf creature, sensing no danger from him.
Oh. The wolf creature looks at you at the very least.
She looks at him.
As you stare into his eyes, you can sense a familiarity, though you can't quite recall why.
I'm sorry, what direction was the structure?
So the structure is directly in front of you. You can kind of see it as you are in kind of a cliffside, somewhat of a hill, of a clearing, where you can kind of see over the trees. There's a little bit more forest ahead of you, but past that there seems to be a field and then somewhat of a township or maybe a small city.
Is that the structure?
Yeah, it seems like you can kind of make the outlines of a wall, like maybe some tiered walls and a really large building off in the distance. But it seems like there are fields, almost farmland, far off. It's probably about at least 10 miles out.
All right. And you said that there is a cliff?
It's like a hill. It's not overly steep, but it's definitely raised. Like, it puts you at a position where you are above the rest of the trees, and you'd have to go down it. You could theoretically fall, but it's sloped.
Feeling uneasy and unsure of where she is, or how she got where she is, she warily begins to move towards the structure in the distance.
Beginning to walk, almost straight ahead, you find yourself having to go down the slope and making your way into a forest. Not really sure of the direction you're headed in, you just try your best to keep straight. Please roll a survival check for me.
That is a crit, so that's a 20, so I have a total of 23.
With not much to cloud your mind, for it seems almost vacant, you have hardly any difficulty keeping your bearings straight onward. stepping over some stumps, some logs, having to hop a babbling brook or two. There isn't really much going on, and the forest floor seems relatively clear, not too dense or crowded, nothing for you to really maneuver around, and you just go on ahead, straight.
Am I by myself currently?
You are making your way onwards, but it seems like the large wolf-like creature seems to be following you.
She stops for a moment and turns and looks at him.
He looks at you and somewhat tilts his head.
She starts to move quickly to the left.
He quickly moves to the left, scurrying after you.
She stops and then starts moving to the right quickly.
He stops and then begins moving to the right quickly. In fact, he kind of gets down and bows his front paws and starts wagging his tail and looking at you happily.
She just sort of scoffs and she kicks the ground, looking for a stick, passively.
Are you walking or are you just looking for a stick in place?
She's looking for a stick by her feet currently, not as she's walking, while she's standing still.
Unfortunately, it seems like the forest floor is somewhat clear and all the sticks are in the trees.
I find a stick somewhere.
The wolf kind of gets up, scurries around following after you, but eventually after looking around for a few moments, you do find a reasonably sized branch, if you would, about 1 or 2 feet long.
I'm equipped with a stick.
Absolutely. You can now venture forward, young Link.
So she sort of swings the stick around.
His eyes track it immediately. He seems almost drooling.
And she tosses it.
Roll strength to see how far you throw.
15.
You launch this sucker, and it goes flying. It seems like it would keep going if not it hit a branch and kind of bounced down and landed a good 60 feet away. The wolf chases after it immediately. As soon as it left your hand, his eyes locked onto it and trailed it, and he bolted it right after it.
Again, she sort of scoffs, but also smirks a little bit. And also, at the same time, she starts examining her hands as if oh, I have a lot more strength than I thought. And then she turns and proceeds towards the structure that she saw originally.
Okay. Roll a survival check.
That is a 6. I got sidetracked.
You begin heading straight ahead in a direction. You're still in the woods. It's kind of hard to make it out, but you're nonetheless walking. You can't really see that much through the wood. You think you're going the right way, but you're not quite sure.
She stops for a moment, and although her head is quite empty, she thinks, I've been walking for quite a long time, and I don't seem to have gotten any closer.
And as you stopped for a brief moment, you hear something drop behind you.
She turns quickly.
There is a stick, and accompanied by it a wolf, who seems very happy.
She doesn't know how to react. She sort of half smiles, walks over and picks up the stick from the ground, and in doing so, she realizes she's grabbed the slimy part, and she almost starts wiping it on the dress, and then she stops, and then wipes it on his fur instead.
He thinks you're petting him. He looks very excited.
All right, then. Where am I supposed to go? She sort of muses out loud.
And you feel as the wolf almost nudges your leg and points with his snout.
What color is this wolf, by the way?
It's a white wolf, pure white wolf. Very large, standing at about 4 or 5 feet tall.
Okay.
Significantly larger than what you would assume an average wolf would be. But once again, he doesn't seem hostile. In fact, it seemed as if he was enjoying a good game of fetch.
She pockets the stick on her side with her hand. Okay, so she has to hold... She holds on to the stick.
You are armed with a weapon. Congratulations.
This message appears in front of you.
You have equipped a new weapon. You have a stick. Congratulations. You have a wolf who keeps following you.
May I try to orient myself?
You may roll survival again.
15.
With the assistance of the wolf, strangely enough, it seems as if you are able to redirect yourself. You realize you were kind of turned around. Literally, you were almost back to where you started. You were a little bit further south than you intended. It seems like the structure is almost dead west, so you're kind of able to orient yourself with the sun, and you are able to begin making your way once more.
All right, so she begins to proceed in the direction that she believes is correct at this point, and she moves onward, holding the stick at her side and warily keeping an eye on the wolf that seems to be trailing after her.
The wolf is attempting to keep up pace with you and is actually walking directly by your side and occasionally just looks at you and wags his tail.
This is the most interaction I've had with him ever. How is my hunger and my thirst at this point? How am I feeling?
Surprisingly fine, but it's early in the day, it seems. The sun isn't even all the way up in the sky yet. It seems like it kind of rose behind you. Whenever you must have gotten here, however you must have gotten here, maybe you spent the night, but you're not too hungry. You could probably go for some breakfast, but other than that, you feel fine. Maybe a little thirsty. You've been walking for a bit.
Okay. She continues. How long am I walking for?
You're walking for a good 15, 20 minutes, but then you begin to hear something outside of the panting of the wolf and the chittering of the birds. You hear footsteps, loud, boisterous voices, and horses off in the distance. And as you push through some brush, you see that there seems to be a road, and on it, a caravan of people.
Does this appear to be, this does not appear to be the structure that I saw, correct? I don't see any wagons or anything.
You do see a wagon, but this is not the structure. The structure you saw off in the distance was outside of the forest, almost on top of a hill, and it was made of stone. This just seems to be a caravan of people on a road in the middle of the woods. They're headed westward, the same direction you are.
Have I come out from the woods yet, or am I just
You
observing?
just peeked your head above a bush. You haven't made yourself known, per se, but you are observing them. They seem to be moving at a somewhat casual and relaxed pace, though certainly making their way somewhere.
She will not come out from the brush. Instead, she will keep herself concealed in the woods and sort of follow alongside.
Roll a perception check for me.
Sure. 17.
Before you stands a caravan of mostly burly and gruff men. There are about 13 people in total, and they seem to be escorting a hooded wagon. There is one person steering this large wagon, two others on horseback riding directly beside it, and a large number of individuals on foot behind them. But they all seem to be chatting and laughing along. And you can faintly see through the hood of the wagon and perhaps hear the voices of children in the back.
She doesn't have any particular thoughts about this group. More so, she thinks, I should be careful.
So do you just follow along beside them?
She follows along on the, in the woods. She's keeping herself concealed, a little bit deeper in, but keeping them within view and moving along.
I will need you to roll a stealth followed by a perception. That way you can hide but still see them. All right, time to roll 13 perception checks to see who sees you.
Stealth 18.
Uh-huh.
Perception 11. Do you need me to roll stealth for the wolf? Or did you?
Oh, yes, please. He's a large boy.
14 for his stealth. Do you care about his perception?
If yours was bad, he might help.
26.
He certainly is able to keep an eye on them, but you are more focused on keeping your distance and kind of ducking behind the trees. Unfortunately, he is less so and rather large and bright white in a stark brown and green backdrop. And you see as one of the men, a large man, on horseback, holds up his hand and makes a fist, Wolf! And then he gestures out and reaches out his arm and points out into the woods. And you see and hear as the caravan almost stops and a number of individuals start walking off in your direction.
All right. She, being wary of this group already, begins to move back further into the wood, not really sure what to do about the wolf at this point.
Can you please roll for me another stealth check as a number of individuals are kind of looking in your direction?
It's a 7.
Startled, as you have been somewhat spotted, or at least your companion the wolf following you, has been spotted. But a number of people are walking in your direction. You take a step back, but you snap a branch behind you.
Do I have shoes?
You don't.
Okay.
Gonna throw a chinkala at them?
No. I was wondering, because if I step on a branch and it breaks, I probably hurt my foot.
You take 1 non-lethal damage.
She grunts in pain.
You wince in pain, and you see as about 4 burly, gruff men, all dressed in leather armor, are making their way in your direction and have certainly spotted you. You, over there! What are you doing?
She stands up from the bush and begins running away.
You hear one of the men shout, "Behold, we've got a runner!"
No. These are slave traders, aren't they? Oh, God.
And as one of the men exclaims that, you hear as a number of the men actually get excited and cheer and begin chasing you off into the woods.
Yes, I am currently running through the woods as fast as I can, not sure what is going on.
As you turn and bolt, it sounds as if the wolf behind you kind of stood a position and growled, but then turned back and saw you flee and began to pursue after you as well. There is about a good 30 feet in between you and your pursuers, but two of the men are on horseback, and one of them is definitely closing in on you quite quickly.
GM?
Yeah.
Quentin, I don't have any components, so I can't cast, any of my spells. They all, have components. Shoot.
Like what? Dominate person? Glibness? Are any of those good?
Circle of Death?
You're gonna death circle people already?
Yeah?
Jeez!
I figure if I kill them off, they won't come after me.
You're not wrong.
But I need a crushed black pearl with 500 gold.
That's a lot of gold you don't have on your person.
I know. So instead, the only thing I'm going to be able to do, let me see. This isn't going to help. How close are they to me currently? I know you said they're closing in, but distance I need.
So the majority of the men on foot are about 30 feet back. The individual on horseback, so you're running and the men on foot are keeping pace with you, right? The man on horseback started a little further back from you, but it seems like he's closing in. He's currently around about 45 feet away, but given a bit more time, he would definitely close in on you in about 12 seconds.
Okay, I can hit him with this then. GM.
Emily.
I would like to be able to, let me make sure it doesn't take a full round because I would have to stand still and that'd be bad.
Aurora.
Yeah, Aurora is actually better. Let's see.
So who are you trying to hit?
The horseback rider who's getting closer to me.
Okay, sounds good.
Let's see. This would be one standard action. I think I can do that, right?
While running, you would not be able to take the run action. You would be able to move your full base movement.
Okay.
Everyone else is currently taking a run action.
If this was a combat, technically, would I have surprise since I've acted first?
Please roll initiative if you would like to act before individuals.
My initiative total is 13. It's not amazing.
I need you to roll a tiebreaker for me with the horseback rider.
I rolled a 9.
Okay. It seems as if the horseback rider is closing in on you. He's now only about 15 feet away. Everyone else is about 30 feet away. But you turn and you may take an action if you like.
Okay. So the thing that I would like to do, GM.
Yes?
I would like to be able to use one of my spells.
Which one?
Brave Enfeeblement.
What's the will say for that?
The DC is 15.
And you're targeting the rider.
I'm targeting the horse.
I'm being told the horse don't want.
Because of the horse.
I don't know if that affects its base move speed. What exactly does it?
Well, it's strength. Brave Enfeeblement says you must succeed on a range, touch attack to strike a target, and the subject takes a penalty to strength equal to 1d6 plus 1 per 2 caster levels, maximum of 1d6 plus 5, and the subject's strength score cannot drop level 1. The successful fortitude only halves that damage, that penalty.
Roll your ranged touch attack.
The ranged attack is 15.
It hits.
They take 10 points of penalty to their strength score.
As you turn and you have this tingling sensation and this feeling that you wish for this creature to stop, you see a black ray shoot from your hand and it strikes this mighty beast, and as it brays in anger, you see it actually almost collapses mid-run and almost as it tumble, and the warrior on top of it falls as well. However, the rest of the individuals are closing in on you and are now only about 10 feet away from you.
Is that their entire movement? Okay. I get a strong urge to conceal myself, and I cast Barrow Haze.
That's a word. Didn't even know it was a spell.
It creates a bank of fog similar to that created by Fog Cloud, except the vapors are black and they have a necromantic link to you. The vapors do not interfere with your vision. Because of your link to the haze, If any part of it is within 30 feet of you, any creatures within the haze count as in range for the purpose of using any of your hexes that have a maximum range of 30 feet.
As you wish to be anywhere but here, you see as this swirling dark mist almost appears around you and swirls and emanates and pours out, and a dense dark mist fog cloud almost rolls in, spanning 10 feet tall and 30 feet in diameter. It outstretches, and suddenly all of the warriors you hear stop, and they sound confused.
What is this? Where'd she go? Find her.
GM,
Yes,
I would like to use a hex.
certainly.
Beast of Ill Omen. It affects the wolf.
The world. Sure.
The Beast of Ill Omen basically states that when the next enemy sees the wolf, they are put under a minor curse, which is Bane. And that says, it fills your enemies with fear and doubt. Each affected creature takes a -1 penalty on attack rolls and a -1 penalty on saving throws against fear effects. The caster level is equal to my level, and I can use it on the wolf so long as he is within 60 feet of me, and also if the enemy is within 60 feet of him, and it's single target only to the closest creature.
Through this dense fog cloud, you hear an individual exclaim, "Ah! The wolf!" And you can sense somehow through this dark mist as if someone almost has retreated and ran away.
In her head, she just gets this thought of, run. And so she books it.
As you think this, you hear a voice in your head, and you hear, "Run." And suddenly, you feel as if you're picked up. Something has kind of hoisted you up into the air from between your legs quite uncomfortably. Please roll a ride check.
My ride was not good. It was a total of 9.
Unsure of what's going on, you barely manage to grasp on, and you are assisted by this creature. It's the wolf, and you are hanging on to his fur for dear life, as it seems as if he is bolting and running deep into the woods. But with that, you can see the cloud of haze and fog off in the distance, and a number of individuals exiting it, confused and dazed, but not able to pursue you. And you are once again finding yourself alone in the woods. However, you are on top of this large wolf who seems to be at a comfortable but hustled pace, making his way onward.
Aurora looks down at this wolf, and while she doesn't show very much emotion on her face, she is filled with a sense of excitement and also a strange peace. And she sort of like strokes his fur while she's riding him.
It's hard to tell, but as you're riding him, you can swear you almost see him smile. And surely enough, you are moving at a blistering speed, significantly faster than you walking on foot, and he seems to not grow tired in the slightest. And eventually, with a mighty leap, you almost break through the woods and find yourself coming into a field.
May I take a general look around the area to see what I see?
Go ahead, roll a perception.
I see what I see, with a total of 9.
You can tell that you have exited the woods and that you are now in a rolling plains, but you are almost blinded by the light as you exit the forest, as the sun is now at about high noon. It's beaming down on you, and you feel the full heat and brightness of the day as you are exiting the forest.
All right, so it's like midday now.
You're no longer shaded by the trees, and the heat of the day is upon you as it is midday. And even more so, you are no longer buffered from the winds, which are quite apparent out here in the open. You can hear the buzzing of the sound of insects and horses off in the distance, and you can see that there are a number of field hands off far away, and you can hear the sound of livestock, as if you might be going into a more agrarian, almost society.
And it sounds like people are nearby or anything, or?
Not necessarily nearby, but you can see small, almost structures off in the distance, and there are little dots which break the monotony of the tan fields.
She is just sitting on the wolf and begins contemplating. She looks over towards this village-looking thing. That's what it sounded like you were saying.
It's hard to tell from this distance, especially with your perception check. You seem to be out in the middle of a series of large fields.
She sighs.
But you can see the structure that you are attempting to go to off in the distance.
Is it?
Straight ahead.
Hmm.
Almost as if the wolf knew where you were trying to go.
Almost as if I have a really bad sense of direction. I would like, I guess I would need to roll handle animal to urge the wolf onward.
Yes, if you want to, you could roll handle animal and urge the wolf forward.
That is a 24.
Urging the wolf forward, you can see that he begins to move and begins making his way to your designated destination, making his way through these fields, having to push through a bit of tall grass and maybe even some crops, walking through a couple of cloud locations. But eventually, it seems as if he makes his way onto a dirt road. But following you, there seems to thankfully not be the people you met previously, but a strong wind picks up, and you can see behind you as if almost a storm might be rolling in. It seems as if you may reach your destination before it hits, but the howling winds are swirling around you, and it does seem to be coming in quite quickly.
At what pace is the wolf moving?
He's moving at not the fastest pace he could, but a general good, jaunt or gallop. He's not, running at top speed.
She won't urge him to go any faster, as she's thinking, perhaps if he's not charging, people won't chase them.
Roll a ride check.
22.
You're able to get quite comfortable in this wolf, and you kind of settle in as he continues on his way, and he finds this dirt path, and he seems to be going on without any hesitation or problems, until eventually you get to a series of wooden cottages, but the storm was catching up behind you and is almost fully upon you now. You can hear the winds howling around and can see as the dark clouds are rolling in. And it seems as if a lot of the people are making their way into their cottages. But you do see what appears to be a series of dilapidated and poorly maintained wooden buildings further ahead in somewhat of a small township outside of the main stone walls of the structure. As you walk closer, you see there seems to be an older lady standing by the side of the road.
She's just standing there?
She is currently just standing there. She seems to have a wooden bowl of sorts.
Aurora will ride up near her with the wolf and just sort of glance down, but not really say anything to her.
A stout old lady with shoulder-height gray hair wearing a shawl around her head and a long tan dress kind of cowers in fear, and you can see her withered and haggard old face as she appears to be too feeble to be working out in the fields. She may be begging here.
Seeing that Aurora has no finances or money, she continues on.
Leaving the lady behind, you kind of hear her sigh of relief momentarily, but then also kind of scoff and kick the dirt, and then stare off towards the storm incoming. And it sounds as if she may have scurried on. You're making your way down this main dirt road for quite a while, until eventually you reach the gate, but with a storm rolling in and the dark clouds blotting out the sun, it is as if it is almost night. And as you approach the walls, you can faintly make out a light atop this massive structure. As you approach these stone walls of what appear to be a city, you can faintly make out a light atop the massive structure. From about 30 feet up, you can hear the sound of a man's voice. "This way!" And it seems as if the light is beginning to motion and moving.
Does it seem to be motioning towards me? Or at me?
The light's moving, and it begins walking on top of this stone structure.
It doesn't seem to be gesturing towards me, just moving?
You can't really see much beyond the fact that there's a light up there. You can vaguely make the silhouette of a person potentially holding the light. You can't really tell. Calls out again. "This way, traveler!"
She, realizing that the person must be speaking to her, since there doesn't seem to be anybody else around, she warily begins to direct the wolf after him.
Walking alongside this stone structure, you begin to hear gears turning, and you see a set of large wooden double doors begin to open. The light at this point has vanished, but then reemerges as the gates of this wall are open. You begin to breach this threshold and are momentarily sheltered from the rain. But you hear a door open, and you see just to the left of the inside of the city gate there seems to be a smaller single wooden door, which is currently being closed by a man with shaggy brown hair holding a lantern. You see underneath his thick black cloak that he has donned a set of full plate armor and has a sword on his side.
He's donned it, so he just put it on?
He's wearing it.
Oh, okay. I thought he was putting it on. I'm like, what did I do? I haven't done anything yet.
He has donned on. He's wearing it.
He's wearing... Okay.
Yeah, he's wearing it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So she's inside underneath of like this portico area?
Mm-hmm. A lady such as yourself shouldn't be wandering around, though I guess you aren't entirely alone. And he kind of glances at your wolf. Worse still, you're without a cloak, no less. Here, take mine. And he kind of flourishes his cloak off and hands it to you. The outside of it is drenched due to the sudden storm, but the inside of it is still quite dry.
I am also drenched.
You are absolutely drenched.
She smirks, and she says, I don't think it's going to do any good now.
Well, certainly the warmth must do something. We wouldn't want you to get ill, would we?
She takes it.
He smiles kindly.
Thank you, I guess.
My pleasure, madam.
She looks around, just observing her surroundings once again.
It seems as if you are currently catching reprieve from this rain as you are underneath this gate of sorts and a massive wall, and inside there is a large, sprawling city.
Tell me, what is this place?
This is the town of beginnings.
Beginning of what?
Well, for some, their adventure. For others, their lives.
And what is it for you?
Well, for me, it's been the beginning of a very long day. That is what it's been.
Ah, well, thank you for your assistance.
The pleasure is mine. And he kind of nods.
And she starts walking off, urging the wolf onward.
The wolf looks a little confused, but continues walking forward with you nonetheless. He's kind of like looking up at you occasionally or behind to look at you and like doesn't know where he's going and is looking for direction.
She was just thinking to herself, I have no idea what this is. Just go forward. West is the only true direction. I'm sorry. It came back.
It always comes back. As you make your way into the city, you can tell the massive size and extent of it. The roads are paved with nice cobbled brick, and they're wide enough to fit 2 wagons traveling side by side. The houses line either side of the road, where each one is about 2 stories tall, well accented with wood trim and thatched roofs, though something about the town feels hollow and empty. Very few of the street lamps are lit, and it's quite apparent that numerous homes and buildings are, well, abandoned, as their windows and doors kind of flap about wildly in this sudden wind and storm.
She stops the wolf. She sighs heavily as the rain is pouring down on her and is dripping over the hood, and she steers the wolf to go back to the man at the gate.
Returning to the gate, you don't see anyone.
She takes off the cloak and just sort of tosses it under the gate area.
And it lands with a large thud, flopping wet on the ground.
I was going to ask him where there's a place to stay here, but I suppose that's not going to happen today, so...
Are you speaking out loud?
Yes. This is like the only time she's actually said her thoughts out loud, so it's kind of weird.
Roll a perception check.
14.
You hear the clamoring, and it sounds as if someone was above you, and you hear footsteps coming downstairs. Ma'am. Oh, my cloak. Did you come back to return it? Are you done?
Yes, you can have your cloak back. If I took it, you would never get it back.
You can see now that his hair is drenched and his armor is soaked. No, by all means, I insist. You shouldn't be walking around like this.
No. I insist.
No. Ma'am, I would not be a true gentleman. What, chivalry is not yet dead. And he's like handing you the cloak.
I have to refuse.
Well then, how about your steed? And he gestures to your wolf. The wolf just turns his head.
I don't know what he wants. I don't know why he's with me.
Rather peculiar, isn't it? And as you're saying this, the wolf kind of walks up to the man and starts nudging his side. And you see his snout is kind of lifting a pouch of sorts. And as the wolf is doing so...
Can I set photo of that?
Certainly.
It's That's a 9.
You are mildly confused until roll a fortitude save.
My fortitude. That was a 1, but plus 7, so it's an 8.
You were somewhat confused by what the wolf was doing until you realized as your stomach let out a loud growl. Perhaps, much like yourself, the wolf too is hungry.
Her face gets really red. Very red. It's so red.
The man also kind of blushes. How rude of me. You weary traveler, have you had nothing to eat? We have provisions. Is there something I could supply you with? Food, water? Here, take the cloak, I insist. Come in.
I'm a poor asshole right now.
I can't shelter you long, but I could direct you where there is a local tavern.
It's all right. Please just tell me where I need to go.
Do you not know? What business have you here? Perhaps I can give you direction.
What business I have is mine. What little there is of it.
That is hard to direct. Here. Though I may not know what you need, perhaps there is a man who does. Go down and visit Sir Travis Prescott. He should be down at the local tavern. You can't miss it. It's the Broken Wagon Inn. It should be straight ahead on your left. Tell him Harrison sent you.
What if he knows a lot of Harrisons?
Tell him Harrison Ryder sent you. Or rather, his assistant.
Wait, so you're Prescott's assistant, Harrison Ryder. All right, I'll tell him Harrison Ryder, the assistant, sent me.
Certainly. So, what do you do?
I haven't taken the cloak from him. Still.
It would appear as if Harrison has already put the cloak on the back of the wolf, and he's currently feeding it a piece of jerky which he pulled out of the pocket that the wolf was nosing at.
She slides off the wolf. She lands on the paved road. I suppose this is where we part ways, dear wolf. Then she begins walking off in the rain.
The wolf pauses for a moment, looks at Harrison, looks at you, looks at Harrison, and then just begins walking after you. And you hear light footsteps following along behind you, but you are making your way down straight.
She's turning and looking behind her as she's walking, still confused about why this wolf is following her. I don't have any food. That man can feed you. I can't. What do you mean that's all right?
And he just happily continues to pace along with you.
Then she continues walking, following his instructions to the best of her ability.
Thankfully, it is relatively easy to follow, and as I mentioned, there aren't too many lights on in this town. But off in the distance, however, straight ahead and to the left, as you were told, there is a place with a light on. It's too hard to make out from this distance, but it seems to have a sign hanging overhead. You can roll a perception check if you would like.
Sure. 13.
It's kind of hard to see with it flapping around wildly in the wind, and the rain is somewhat obscuring your vision, but you see some kind of rectangular object on the sign and some lettering which is worn and faded on the bottom of it.
Is it in a language that I can understand?
You can infer what it means as you get closer and are able to see it more clearly. And as you are just about underneath it at the threshold of the doorway, you can see that it says, The Broken Wagon Inn.
She looks at the wolf. Dear wolf, I do not believe you can enter in here.
And he just sits, kind of attempting to be under the ledge of the thatched roof to avoid the rain to the best of his ability.
She nods and then proceeds over to the door and attempts to open it.
Doing so without any problem. You open the door and enter the establishment, and you are greeted by the much welcomed feeling of warmth and the scent of food. This would appear to be a small, quiet local inn, though a very small one, and with very few patrons. There are a few tables scattered about, and a few booths along the walls. A man seems to be cleaning glasses behind the counter, though it doesn't really look like any of them have been used, and another gentleman is faintly strumming a quiet song in the corner while sitting on a stool, and there appears to be someone who's kind of passed out, face laid down on a table in one of the back booths over there.
Aurora stands at the doorway, appreciating the music and the warmth, although she is soaking wet and dripping onto the ground. She looks around very awkwardly, looking for somewhere to sit,
Come on in, lass. Close the door.
preferably closer to the fire. She closes the door behind her at his request.
You see that it was, presumably, the barkeep who motioned towards you, a tall, burly man with medium-length red hair parted in the middle with a very nice bushy mustache. He wears a cream-colored shirt and pants held up by suspenders. He's motioning in for you to come closer, and it looks like he's clearing a spot at the bar by a stool close to the fireplace for you.
She goes over and takes a seat, and she stares at him blankly for a moment.
He kind of stares blankly and quietly for a moment.
I don't think I've seen you before. What brings you to town?
I'm not sure. In all honesty, I'm just, I suppose, trying to find my way.
Aren't we all? On a much larger philosophical scale.
Yes, I suppose we're all looking to find ourselves.
No, I mean, quite literally, a lot of people have been getting lost recently. Not to mention the fact that half the people have been displaced and don't know what to do with themselves anymore.
Has there been some sort of problem that has occurred in this town?
Problem? More like a plague. Gosh darn barbarians. Just keep coming through, keep kidnapping our workers. You people tried to settle small towns. Just keep getting plucked off. Anytime we send any units out, they get wiped out entirely.
This is a Civ 6 reference.
As soon as I said barbarians, I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry.
But more accurately, it's the problem with the upper management. And by that, I mean the head of this town, Sir Reginald Leopold III. He acts like a damp baron, and we his barony. But from what I've heard, he's nothing more than a figurehead. A bloody puppet. Some underground organization in this city's supposedly controlling him. Of course he wouldn't mind. He still gets to live in the lap of luxury. All he does is look down on people and deny them aid while probably secretly handing us to the damn barbarians from the south. Or at least, that's my 2 cents. Sorry, don't mean to drone on.
That's all right. I can't say I know anything that has been going on here. Might I ask, what day is it?
Mondoon.
You steal my calendar?
It's the Lord's Day.
I haven't the faintest idea of that day, but I will...
Or at least that's what Reginald Leopold calls his bloody birthday.
I'm kidding. I don't know. Have we ever used?
No.
No one's ever asked the NPC that before.
You can use Pathfinder's actual, how they do their calendar system if you need to.
They have a calendar?
Yeah.
It's Toll Day.
She looks very confused, realizing the question didn't help her at all, but now she knows there's a day called Toll Day. Is that a day where you pay taxes and tolls?
Oh, but I suppose they tax us every bloody day, don't they?
I'm assuming this is Sir Reginald Leopold III.
At least him or his lackeys. Whoever he sends out at the time. Sometimes we get men in black cloaks knocking from door to door.
And what about your town guard? That Harrison fellow by the gate.
Town guard! That lad, no. We'd be lucky enough to have a town guard. Or at least around this part. Sure, the upper ring has it around Leopold's estate. But us, we're lucky enough to have a wall. It's better for us in here than it is for those out there.
I see. You wouldn't happen to know a place, perhaps a healer of sorts in the area?
The only one I could speak of would probably be one of Leopold's court. All the others have probably left by now. Not enough people could spare the coin. Or they traveled out of their good heart, following the rest of the folk to the west.
So people have been leaving this town.
Leaving? More like a mass exodus. They've been going out in droves. No one wants to stay in this bloody place anymore. And if I wasn't tied down here, I probably would have left myself. But all my worldly possessions are here. And what last I have of family. We probably wouldn't survive the journey now that we'd probably have to head out on our own. If I had the foresight, I would have packed everything up and left with the first caravan. But now we're more liable to get picked off by the cursed barbarians which roam these hills.
She pauses for a moment. Have the barbarians been attacking these caravans on the road?
Of course they have. That's the easiest place to get it now that all the villages have been raided. They came in by their boats and swarmed through our cities, took all of our treasures that we had to speak of, and once there was none left, they started taking the people themselves. Any caravan that sets out is liable to be plundered.
I see. Did any of them leave recently?
Recently. One hasn't left for weeks, more than likely. Or at least not one of substantial size. I'd hardly call it a caravan if one family decided to up and try their luck out there.
GM, can I recall the direction that those men were heading in? Did they seem to be heading towards the town on the road?
Yes, they seem to be heading towards the town, or at least in a similar direction from the town. And if you are assuming that the town was in the west, which you were able to infer based off of where the sun was, they were coming from the east-ish.
Well, you may wish to be informed and perhaps inform others in your town. I believe the barbarians are heading this way.
How many were their numbers?
Can I recall? How many?
13 or so.
Around 13.
Seems like but a small party. They roam about these parts, taking whatever they can find. Honestly, they've about milked us dry. But they come through about every crop rotation and take whatever they can before heading back to their homes.
Yes, well, it seems they're looking for slaves. Beyond the barbarians, I was actually coming here looking for someone called Travis Prescott.
Well, that'd be him in the corner. One of the few people who actually pays patronage to this place still. Honestly, he's about half the reason I stay.
He's only half the reason. Why is he even part of the reason is my question.
Well, as melancholy as his lyre may sound, honestly, he'd probably be lost without this place. We've been together for quite some time. He's a good friend of mine.
And I'm sorry, I did not happen to catch your name, sir.
The name's Matthew. Matthew Johnson.
Well, thank you, Matthew. I believe I have some business with Travis over there. I'll be back momentarily.
Be my guest. Let me know what I can spare you.
Some coin? No, I'm kidding. So she gets up and walks over towards the man playing the lyre.
Walking over to the individual, you see him sat on a stool. He appears to be a man of average height, but very flamboyant dress. He's wearing a green cloak underneath which is a green textured jerkin with a floral pattern, and a red long-sleeved undershirt. He has a green hat tipped and tilted, seemingly defying gravity as it is slanted to the left of his head, and he has tan baggy slops with green leggings on, and well-kept brown leather shoes.
She waits a moment and waits until he essentially finishes up with a song before interrupting him.
He seems to have paid no notice to you yet, almost fully immersed in his music, and you two are getting caught up in his melancholic tune, kind of swaying, and it seems as if it would be a tale of a transition from a cheery time into a somber, lonesome journey, which you can somehow relate to. But as he plays, you hear the door slam open wildly, and a jaunty man laugh.
Oh, great job, Clarence. Oh, what a great tale. I absolutely loved it. Oh, the wind blew and her blouse went all the way up, and you said she would fly, and she's screaming down the road. Wish I could have been there to see it. Sweep her off her feet and carry her to the sunset.
You see as a very boisterous and loud, tall, muscular man with chiseled features and slick black hair enters the room. He seems to be accompanied by a short, stout man with soaked brown hair combed over to one side.
Aurora, being disturbed by this loud, boisterous man entering in and also sort of interrupting her state of mind of just being calmed by the music, she glares at him and attempts to intimidate him with a glare, an evil glare. It is a 15.
As you try and send a spiteful glare kind of rolling your eyes towards his direction, it doesn't seem to bother him so much as it seems to draw his attention to your presence. Though the short, stout man kind of does almost squeak and, cower behind the larger fellow.
Oh, what do we have here? A foxy lady. Looks like she might have a little bite in her, too.
And he comes up and starts motioning towards you.
She looks him up and down as he walks over.
You can see that he is wearing a white silk shirt. It seems to be a little too tight for his physique, and he is soaking wet. He's also wearing very snug trousers, and his leather belt perfectly matches his shoes. Everything looks well worn, but at the same time also very well kept and polished. It would appear that all of these articles have emblems even embroidered on them. Moreover, from his belt, you can see that it is weighed down on one side by a rather hefty coin purse. It would seem that he would more than likely wear this outfit regardless of what the environment or weather he might find himself in.
She looks him up and down, and then she turns her head back towards the man playing, who is Travis.
Oh, but a cat and mouse are we gonna have? Oh, come here.
And he's reaching for you, trying to grab you by the waist.
As he tries to grab her, she actually reaches her hand and grabs his wrist first and casts Chilling Touch.
That just do damage?
A touch from your hand, which glows with blue energy, disrupts the life force of living creatures. Each touch channels negative energy that deals, or it's chill touch, deals 1d6 points of damage. The touch creature also takes 1 point of strength damage unless it makes a successful fortitude saving throw.
What's the DC of the fort save?
But hold on, let me double check for this one. It is 15.
Okay. What's the damage?
3.
He makes a barely noticeable but audible wincing sound as he kind of shudders back away, but still almost attempts to maintain his composure.
Oh, an icy one.
She just smirks.
Oh, don't be cold-hearted. I could warm you up to this evening.
Ooh. Oh, do tell. A gentleman such as yourself warming my bed, I would be most loathsome to have to deal with you.
Your bed? Oh no, you'd be coming home with me.
Please, be gone, maggot, before I send my fly swatter after you.
Listen to her, Clarence. She does have a little bit of bite in her. Normally they're all coy or just far too passive. I haven't had a bit of fun in a while.
At this point, the man playing the music kind of stopped, and he's just sitting there, and you hear an exasperated sigh, and he's just shaking his head like he's dealt with this far too many times, and he's just not paying it any mind.
She sighs. You're not worth the time. And she begins to move away from him to like anywhere that's a little bit more spaced in the tavern.
As you say that, you hear him kind of click his tongue in aggravation and anger, and he goes and grabs your wrist.
Me, not with your time. You would be graced by my presence. You'd be lucky to be taken by me.
Taken by you? I'll give you this one. Take your hand off of me.
At first I thought it was playful, but your impudence is insolence. Do you know who I am, madam?
She looks him up and down. Swine.
You hear the man who's playing the guitar chuckle a little.
I am.
Wait. Hold on. Do you know who I am?
You're nothing but a foul-mouthed wench who will be coming with me.
I see you're no help.
I am Leonardo DuPont, none other than nephew of Sir Reginald Leopold himself. And this here is the Baron's royal adviser, Clarence Laurent. We're borderline royalty.
Oh, well, I see. My dear Clarence, if you're an advisor, I'd advise him to get his hands off me.
Leo, I don't know about this one. You've had some schemes in the past, but the lovely lady might have a point. He seems to be immensely intimidated by you.
Oh, you coward. Your knees buckle at the sight of anything. That's why you're not in charge. All you can do is mince words in the back corners.
Yes, sir. You're right. No, she is. We should have her flogged for this.
What a great idea, and now I remember why you advise.
I'd fire him if I were you, honestly.
Now, boys.
The barkeep speaks up.
Don't be harassing my customers, please. Matthew, please have common sense. This little bit here was just about to sit on my knee and we're about to have a drink. Don't worry. That's not how it looked to me. It looked like you were harassing another one of the girls. Oh, nonsense, Matthew. Don't you know who you pay taxes to? I'm well aware who I pay taxes to, Leonardo. And I have already paid my dues, so I would please kindly ask you to leave my establishment. There'd probably be someone fairer than you elsewhere out there anyways, you wretched hag.
And he goes to take his leave as he releases your hand.
Come on, Clarence. We'll hop to another bar before the evening's out.
Yes, sir. And the door opens and then suddenly slams.
She waves with her fingers. Bye-bye.
You hear a surprisingly effeminate scream come from outside after hearing a low-toned growl. and then followed by the running away of something.
What a good wolf. She rubs her wrist from the spot where he was grabbing onto it. It's a little sore. Men.
And you are addressed by an individual behind you. Oh, I do say, madam, not all of us are quite that bad.
She turns and faces the voice.
It would appear as if Sir Travis Prescott Williams is addressing you. I must thank you for getting rid of those boisterous ruffians. They tend to hop around here every now and again and terrorize the locals.
I didn't do anything.
Not many locals would be so brash as to stand up to him. But then again, I find your stature to be quite refreshing. We don't have new faces all too often around here.
Well, perhaps if I had known who he was, I might not have been so cold. Not that I care. I just don't like people trying to manhandle me.
Certainly, a lovely lady such as yourself should be treated with proper etiquette. So, let me mind my manners. And he kind of gives a bow, both hands gesturing towards the side as he bends at the waist. The name is Sir Travis Prescott Williams, bard, orator, and pen for hire.
Shoot, I forget what I was sent here for. Yes, hold on. I was told to come meet with you by someone named Harrison Ryder, or your assistant.
Oh dear Harry boy, please do tell me you have good news.
The wall still stands?
Well, I don't know if that's good news or not. I was hoping to hear something better.
I didn't know I was bringing news. I was simply told to come and see you.
On what regard? Have you word? Have you found my dear Claire?
Is Claire your cat?
Claire is my niece, I'll have you know.
I have not heard about this, Claire. I haven't heard about much, actually. I've just arrived in town, and I was looking for things, although I'm not quite sure what.
Well, if you could narrow it down beyond things, I could probably help you. I've lived here perhaps my whole life. Though I have traveled many a far place, I always seem to come back to the beginning.
I can't say I know where I've been or how long I've been there. I don't even know. I don't know much. Let's just say that.
You seem rather refined for someone of, pardon me, but such ignorance.
I wish I knew. I really do. However, finding yourself in the woods one day is not exactly clarifying.
Perhaps, much like my Claire, you were onset by raiders. Perchance you ran away. They hit you over the head. You've lost your memories. Oh, dear girl, maybe you do know where Claire is. You just don't quite remember.
I don't remember seeing a Claire. I just remember...
Of course you don't. Do you even remember your name?
Aurora.
Oh, drat, maybe you don't then. Where are you from?
The woods.
The woods. Well, that's short-term memory in check at least.
Where are you from? The woods.
You know, I have some pool in the upper court. Perhaps I could get you in to see the healer. Settle this out. If at only a chance that you do know where Claire might be. You see, she was traveling in the east. There's an elven village out there. But she was supposed to arrive about a day or two ago. Never made her way here. Unfortunately, I've heard of raiders roaming about those parts.
Elven village, what is that?
The village of elves? Out in the east? You not know of the village?
No, I can't say that I am aware of this village.
Perhaps. Where did you say you came from? That's the closest wood I know.
East. In the woods. That is all I know.
That is where the elven village is from, presumably where you are from too, pertaining to your heritage, of course.
My heritage? What are you talking about?
The ears, madam.
She reaches up and for the first time she actually feels her ears. That explains so much. I could hear a lot. I'm sorry, do you happen to have a mirror?
Of course. And he actually bends to the left, and you see that he has a small bag set beside him on a stool, and he pulls out a little hand mirror with intricate gold trim. It seems very fancy.
May I?
That's why I handed it to you.
He handed it to me? I thought he was just holding it out.
He's handing it to you.
Okay, well, she's being polite. So she takes the mirror and she looks at it, and now I can finally describe my character, because she has no idea what she looked like. So, holding up the mirror to her face, she is very, very wet right now, but her hair is starting to curl in some places. It is dark and long, and she is very pale skin, although it's somewhat flushed right now from all of the events of the day. And she has blue eyes and, of course, the long elven ears that she had no recollection of ever having, but now realizes this is why she could hear really well. That's why the wind kept bothering her so much. And beyond that, she also finally takes a look up and down at herself, kind of using the mirror, and she realizes she is kind of dirty and does not have shoes. It's a sad moment. And she's, well, about 5'5". Oh dear. She lowers the mirror really quickly down to her side and pulls it back up and looks again and puts it back down. Oh dear. And she hands the mirror back to him. Thank you.
A pleasure's all mine. Now, about the meeting. Court will be closed tomorrow. The healer's probably gone home. Can't really interrupt them there. There's a curfew instated after all. Where, perhaps, might you be staying? I could come find you in the morning.
She pauses. About that, I don't exactly have coin or anywhere to stay.
Oh, of course. No, you were on set by raiders. Of course you wouldn't have anything on you. You were probably lucky enough to escape with your life.
Yes, she gestures to herself, looking herself up and down too. Yes, and it seems they've only left me with this slip.
Rather slenderizing, very fashionable, I must say, but a little,
Revealing.
Nonetheless, what we could do for you, I can put you up for the night here in the tavern. I'm sure Matthew wouldn't mind. And furthermore, I'll come have Harrison fetch you in the morning.
Thank you. I really appreciate the assistance. Perhaps, if I have seen this niece of yours, I'll be able to help.
Oh, I do so hope. I've had very little leads to go on. I've had Harrison stand out at that wall most every night. Or at least for the past few days, hoping that she would return, but we can't send out a search party. No one would be even willing to go. So if you have any news at all, it would be so desperately welcomed.
She thinks for a moment, and suddenly she has an idea. Do you happen to have anything that belonged to Claire that might have a strong scent on it?
On me, I believe this locket she gave me. It has a picture of her. He hurriedly grabs a gold chain around his neck and presents you with a locket. And it has a picture of a fair maiden with long blonde hair resting on her shoulders and as she's dressed in a froofy blue dress with white lacing.
Aurora stares at the image. Yes, I cannot. I've never seen this person in my life. But perhaps I could be of use in other ways if there's a situation where I have never seen her. Maybe the wolf can help.
The wolf? Is this a traveling companion of yours?
She walks, she gestures for him to follow her, and then she walks over to the entryway door.
He quizzically follows you.
And she opens the door up and gestures.
The wind assists in opening the door, and rain sputters in as you do so. But then the man shrieks almost. Egad! That beast is with you?
Please tell me there's like a flash of lightning and his eyes like turn yellow.
Yeah, and you see a drenched wolf sat there, somewhat proudly but head hung low, but is also looking at you, almost as if it's asking, inside?
She steps back slightly to give Travis a better view, but it's also somewhat of an inviting gesture.
You see as eagerly the wolf immediately bolts, turns, and brushes past both of you, runs inside to the center of the tavern, and immediately shakes and gets water everywhere.
A beast! What is it doing in here? Travis, why would you let it in?
He's fine. He was with me. He's part of your current guard for the house, seeing that you had such a heathenistic man enter inside of it.
I haven't had a guard dog in quite a while. Certainly not one that big.
He's a wolf.
Yes, we can certainly tell. We're not just too used to having them roam around the town, and certainly not bear-sized ones.
She walks over and starts giving him scratchies underneath of his chin.
He's sat down right in front of the fireplace, and he's just head tilted up towards you.
Yes. Well, I believe he may be able to help. I may not have much knowledge about this wolf, but he's been friendly thus far.
Perhaps you could use it to track down Claire. I do believe I have an article of clothing of hers back at the house, though in order to preserve its scent, I wouldn't want to travel it in the rain.
Yes, well, I would suggest that we wait until it is no longer pouring down rain. I don't think you'd be able to track a scent in the rain very well.
Certainly not. Hopefully there's some trail available. We'll have to double back and head back east.
Well, I can't be straying too far off. For some reason, I have this strong urge to continue west. Something seems to be pulling me in that direction, but perhaps I can point you in the correct direction for Claire. And maybe there's no need for me to go off searching for her if I have seen her.
Wonderful. Any assistance would be much appreciated. I don't mean to impose on you at all, but the least I can do is provide you for the room and board for this evening. I'm sure Matthew has something he could scrounge up in the kitchen.
She keeps her composure, but she's very hungry. Yes, that would be most appreciated.
Matthew, her tab is on me, and please do give her a nice room with a fireplace. This poor thing is drenched. Here, have my cloak.
Two cloaks in one day. I can't.
2 cloaks one day.
2 cloaks in one day. It's really, I'm sorry, it's kind of funny. No. I cannot accept your cloak.
I'm surprised. If you ran into Harrison, I thought he'd be more of a gentleman and offer you his.
She looks at the back of the wolf.
The cloak is no longer there.
Oh, he did.
What happened to it? Well, please tell me you didn't run into more unsavory ruffians out there.
He gave it to the wolf.
I always thought he was a rather peculiar boy. Well, hopefully, he stares at the wolf. He made good use of it. The wolf seems to be panting and then stands up yet again and then shakes wildly as fur and water get spread everywhere. Indeed. Well then, madam, I must be off. Lots of things to put in order now, and I must contact my. I must reach out to my contact at the courts.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful evening.
You too, Madam Aurora. And he once again takes a deep bow.
She, not knowing what the common gesture is, imitates the bow.
Okay. And he runs off?
Well, there isn't much left. I've got some bread and some roasted chicken here for you. The bread might be a bit stale, not gonna lie.
Oh,
But the chicken is fresh.
that's all right.
Just slaughtered this morning.
It's all right about the bread. I think I quite like bread. And so, she'll eat the food gracefully. She won't, shovel it.
If you would like, you could take that up to your room. It might be a little bit more comfortable there. I can get the fire started for you.
Yes, please. I would appreciate it.
Right this way.
He takes you to a staircase beside the bar leading up to the second floor. And eventually you turn a corner and there is a hallway with a series of doors. And he takes you to the one at the very end. Unlocking it, he opens the door and gestures for you to go in.
She goes in, followed by Wolf, I'm assuming.
The wolf has been following you indeed.
Okay, she's going to take a look around the room.
Certainly.
10!
It seems to be a rather simplistic room, not too much to speak of. There seems to be a nightstand to the left of the bed. The bed is a full-size bed with 2 pillows and a nice, warm, hefty comforter on it with an undersheet as well. There seems to be a chest at the foot of the bed, and in front of which as well, there seems to be a chair set on a rug in front of a fireplace.
She goes over to the chair, and she runs her hand along the wooden frame of it. So she,
Chair.
in her mind, she's registering chair.
Bed. Fire warm.
And she sits down on the chair.
Give me a moment. I'll get the fire started for you. I'll set the key down on the dresser.
Okay. She makes note of the location, and then she also watches carefully as he lights the fire because she has no idea how to do that.
It seems as if there is a small chest next to the fireplace in which he lifts the lid and pulls out a few logs from, and then he seems to pull out a flint and steel and ignites it as it roars slowly to life.
Thank you, Matthew.
The pleasure's mine, Aurora. Do you perhaps have a nightgown to change into or any spare change of clothes? You didn't seem like you came bearing much.
She takes a deep breath and then kind of lets it out slowly as she ponders how to say, Matthew, I'm not exactly sure what I was traveling with, but I do know that I am no longer with it, so I am without.
Certainly. How forgetful of me. We don't fully comprehend your situation, of course, but certainly something must have happened for you to be traveling so lightly.
It's at this point she's starting to think, maybe I need to, am I, basically naked at this point? Everyone keeps commenting, your dress is very dress-like. And so she's kind of getting a little self-conscious, but she keeps it masked on her face.
Give me but a moment. I think I may have something that, of my wife's, which, I mean, she will no longer use, so I could give it to you.
And he gestures as if he is going to leave the room.
She sits in front of the fire and is watching the dancing flames, and then looks over at the wolf.
He's curled up at your foot right in front of the fireplace, and he looks up at you.
Oh dear wolf, I have no idea why you're following me still. I can't feed you.
And he just, already laying down, just rests his head on your feet.
It gets a little too warm after a while, and she moves her feet away.
He seems content and warmed.
And I think she passes out in the chair because she's been
I was about to say, roll a fortitude save. I was about to make you say you're gonna be conked unconscious.
Yeah, so she kind of just closes her eyes for a bit, and then she just conks out, still in her wet clothes that are slowly drying out.
Absolutely. Fading off into a well-deserved sleep and slumber, you slowly fade from your vision of this world and from this cozy cushioned chair in front of a fireplace, with warmth greeting you and lulling you into a sleep. And though you could have sworn that you had just rested, you feel as if you are in a completely different atmosphere and now refreshed. As you blink and you open your eyes and you hear, once again, the sound of birds. But it's somewhat different than before. A sweet scent of nectar fills your nose. There's once again the chittering of birds and the babbling of a brook, but it would appear as if you are in some sort of well-kept garden. There are numerous paths and bridges over channels of water, large open swaths of grass, and great massive flower beds of all kinds. But you find yourself to be here completely alone, without even the wolf.
Hello? She says, and looks around and sort of does a spin around, just taking in the surroundings. Is anyone here?
You once again hear the same familiar voice, almost echoing from all around you. Aurora. Aurora.
Hello? Who are you? Why are you calling me?
It does not seem to respond, but rather continues and seems to have somewhat of a direction. It seems to be coming from straight ahead of you.
She begins to follow this direction.
Following the sound of the voice and the path that lay before you, you eventually walk through this garden, quite a peaceful time, and eventually cross over a bridge until you are in an entire field of white lilies, and at the center of which you see a gazebo with thin white veils swaying somewhat in the gentle breeze.
She slows down her approach and gets a little bit more careful, stepping softly in the grass towards the gazebo. And am I able to make a perception check to see if I can see anything inside?
Sure.
16.
You can see through the veils and catch glimpses of the silhouette of some tall and slender form. And there is a pathway from where you are leading all the way up to the gazebo directly through this field of white lilies. And you still hear the same voice calling out to you. Aurora.
Here I am. And she walks slowly up to the gazebo and begins to part the white veil.
As you do so, the silhouette takes form and you see before you there is a beautiful, slender woman with long, straight black hair which seems to almost flow into and join her very slim black dress. She walks and sits down to a nearby white cushioned bench under the gazebo, reaching ever so slightly and extending her arm to a table where there doesn't seem to be anything. She seems to grasp at something and gestures at you with something in her hand as it manifests. And the last thing you hear is her saying, tea. And that is where we're going to end this week's episode of A Tale of Remembrance. Thank you all for listening. If you enjoyed, please let us know. Leave a comment if you're watching on YouTube, or you could let us know on our social media on Instagram or Twitter at rolefound. You can also reach out to us via our website, missingroleplayerfound.com, or if you want to support us in any other ways, you can check out our merchandise there, or even our Patreon, where if you are listening to this, who knows, you might be listening to it early before its batch release on our Patreon, where you do get fun exclusive episodes like this and funny blooper highlight reels, and hopefully more to come. A special shout out and thank you to Michael Galfi, Will Savino, and Kevin McLeod for giving us all this wonderful ambiance and music that we've been using and you've been hearing in your ear holes today. Hopefully you all enjoyed this as much as me as Snowden, and you will continue listening during the next episode of A Tale of Remembrance. Bye, everybody.
Bye.